opened via their phone will be able to apply and pay for shares up to 20 million every day. This was a request. We have listened to our customers. It was a request that came very strongly, and we've been able to accommodate that request. Why is that so important? It's because, as you know, if you apply and pay for your shares using the Mtn IPO, the Mtn platform, you do benefit from 10% bonus shares. So to give an opportunity to everybody, and in particular our customers, to benefit from the full 10% bonus shares, we have agreed to increase the daily payment limit for those 60,000 SCB account holders from 5 million a day up to now 20 million a day, all the way from today, tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday. As I said, that should give the opportunity to everybody, in particular our customers, to fully benefit from the 10% bonus shares, which you are entitled to as long as you use the MTN mobile money line to apply and pay for your shares. Over the last 6 weeks, the entire MTN Uganda Exco leadership team has been on a nationwide roadshow. We have had more than 300 physical and virtual engagements with potential investors in Kampala, in 50 cities and towns upcountry, and we also traveled to Nairobi to give a chance to our East African neighbors to fully understand the dynamics of the MTN IPO and to give them an opportunity to engage with the leadership of the company. So we've done more than 300, a lot of them physical, also a lot of them virtual. New technology, we are in this technology. The new technology really allowed us to engage with hundreds of people via Twitter, Zoom, Teams calls, physical meetings here in Kampala, in all the major cities, more than 50 cities upcountry. We've been all over the country and in Nairobi, and we have had a great interaction with thousands of potential interested investors. There was a lot of education to be done. The knowledge and understanding of the capital markets because of many years of no IPO. It is the first IPO in the last 7 years. So there was a lot of education that needed to be done, a lot of explanation that needed to be done. But we have done that, as I said, more than 300 different physical and virtual engagements, and the response has been amazing. During these interactions with all these investors or potential investors, there was a lot of misunderstandings that needed to be clarified, which is normal because, as I said, this is the first IPO in more than 7 years. So a lot of people needed clarity, understanding of how the IPO works and how the capital markets, the stock market work. In particular, there were a few concerns, misunderstandings that kept on popping up that required additional clarification. And I'll just go through the top 3-4 clarifications that we have been consistently giving to our audiences. And just for the sake of clarity, allow me once again to clarify some misunderstandings that have been going round and that the general public needs to be fully aware and fully informed about the facts. So the MTN Mobile Money Company is 100% part of the listed company. It is very clearly defined in the prospectus. There should be absolutely no doubt in anybody's mind. Mobile money is part of the listed company. We got a lot of queries around that because people do understand and appreciate, of course, the value of mobile money as part of MTN. So once again, I can clarify, mobile money is 100% part of the listed company. A second concern that came up several times is the question whether MTN Uganda is a public company or not. I can formally confirm that since 2003, 18 years ago, MTN Uganda is a public company. There is no confusion or doubt about that. MTN Uganda is a public company. There were also questions around why MTN is doing this IPO now. MTN Uganda is doing this IPO, is listing 20% of its shares on the USE because it is a license obligation. MTN Uganda, when renegotiating the extension of its license, agreed to list 20% of its shares on the USE by June 2022, which is in 6 months from now. So you don't want to be caught waiting too long. We were given 24 months to list. We are fulfilling the license obligation a few months in advance of its due date. So the first reason why we are listing the company and why we are taking 20% of the shares going public on the stock exchange is in fulfillment of the license obligation imposed by us, but imposed on us by the UCC. The second reason why we are taking the company public, on top of the obligation, is that we understood that it would be a great opportunity to give a chance to thousands of Ugandan investors to own part of this company. So we turned an obligation also into an opportunity. And for avoidance of any doubt, MTN International is the one selling 20% of its shares that it's holding in MTN Uganda. So it's going to reduce its shareholding from 96% ownership of the company to 76% ownership of the company. The remaining 24 will be 4% with Mr. Mbire, and the other 20% will be with the general public. And that's why we are doing this IPO, so that everybody gets a chance to buy into that 20% of the shares that is on offer. So as MTN International will remain with 76% ownership of the company, I also want to clarify another misunderstanding. That of course doesn't mean that MTN International wants to run away, like some people were claiming. We're going to run away where? Where to? Uganda is our home. MTN International remains the owner of 76% of a very profitable and healthy company. So MTN is not going anywhere. MTN is staying in Uganda, and because Uganda is our home. So let there also be no confusion at all. It's not because other companies have closed the shop that MTN would do anything on the like. On the contrary, this listing is a further reconfirmation of our commitment of continuing investing in our company, investing in our network, building our network. So we have confirmed and committed to a 1 trillion Uganda shilling investment over the next 3 years. So I don't think a company that is investing 1 trillion shilling in network expansion is going to run away anywhere. On the contrary, they are going to stay to make sure that that investment is paying off dividends, as they remain 76% owner of that company. So, as the management of MTN Uganda, I would want once again confirm that MTN Uganda is a very healthy and profitable company. We are not selling because we want to run away. We are also not selling because we would have too much debt. as some analysts were claiming, our debt levels are actually very low, and that's why we have the financial muscle to continue invest more than ₦1 trillion over the next 3 years. And we continue investing because we believe in the growth of MTN Uganda. Over the next few years, we do believe that the company is going to continue to grow more than 10% every year on the top line and more than 20% on the bottom line, because the demographics of Uganda are in our favor. We have a very young population. Population is still growing very strongly. So more Ugandans, more population growth means more customers. We also believe that the country, the economy of Uganda is going to continue to grow massively over the next few years. So a growing population in a growing economy means a growing business opportunity for MTN Uganda. And then specifically about our industry, we strongly believe that the mobile and fixed data revenues are going to continue to grow strongly. Everybody wants a smartphone. Everybody wants to be connected. Everybody, wants to be connected to each other and also to the rest of the world and the internet. So there's a massive growth opportunity ahead of us in both the mobile data and the fixed data. And then last but not least, there's also massive growth opportunity still ahead of us when it comes to mobile money. There's so much more that we can do. Develop the Momo Pay ecosystem, develop more products like MoCash, saving and lending opportunities. So there's massive growth ahead of us for the company because of its demographics, because of the economy, because of mobile and fixed data solutions, and because of mobile money. So on that note, I think we can conclude. As management, we are firmly committed to deliver the growth of the company so that potential investors and shareholders will get their returns. This is the last chance. We are remaining with 3 days. The offer is closing on Monday, 4 p.m. It's like, the final announcement of the bus leaving the taxi park. Okay, the bus driver has switched on the engine. Most passengers have taken their seats. The luggage is being stored. The conductor is making the final announcement. Okay, this is your last chance to jump onto the bus. The bus is leaving Monday, 4 p.m. Anybody who wants to jump on the MTN IPO bus, this is your last chance. Make an informed decision. It's an important decision. Investing, you don't do that lightly. So make your informed decision. The offer is valid and open until Monday, 4 p.m. If you want to jump on the bus, to get in there. If you don't want, we'll stay behind and we'll move on. So this is your chance. The limits are 20 million a day. So every Ugandan, MTN Uganda customer in particular, you want to join, please do. We are closing the offer on Monday, and then we go for listing on the 6th of December. I'd like to thank everybody for your patience and for your attention, and I would like to open the floor for questions and answers for more details about the press conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Wim. So, to the press, now is your opportunity to ask any questions. Kindly put up your hand. If you're nominated, introduce yourself, the media house you represent. And if I could kindly ask you to keep your questions to one so that we're as democratic as possible and can get through a number. The floor is yours now. No questions. It seems, Wim, you did a good job in your briefing.
Good morning. Hello? I'm called Michael Baleke. I work for CGTN. Mr. Wim, you said you have increased that amount to 20 million from 5 million. But also you should know, like you said, that there are about 60,000 people you've just said who have opened SCD accounts. You should also know that you have new subscribers to MTN so that they can buy the shares. What that means is that the other issues people have been raising have been that when you buy a new SIM card for MTN, it can only allow you to deposit 1 million shillings on mobile money per day. Have you worked on this? And with this, I don't know what MTN is going to do with it, but that's what it's saying. The maximum you can deposit per day is 1 million. That means someone will need 20 days if they need to buy 20 million worth of shares.
Thank you for that question. So it is true, okay. For new SIM cards, there is a limit of 1 million, okay. Why that is purely for security purposes, anti-money laundering purposes. The FIA, Financial Intelligence Authority, is very strict on movements of money. So the law allows us to increase the limit to 20 million, but of course there is still AML screening that needs to be done. As a good practice, we have always put the limit at 5 million for customers who have been with us for a while. For new customers, because we don't know yet who you are in terms of your behavior, in terms of your financial behavior, out of prudency and out of best practice, the limit is 1 million. Now, if a new customer would be restricted and feel that their limit should be higher, they can always call us through their broker. We can look at it and we can increase the limit on a one-on-one particular basis. There's no problem that we can allow for that. It's just a phone call to their broker and we can accommodate that. But as a general rule, we have only increased the limit to 20 million for the existing SCD account holders, for which have been with us for a while, and we can confidently take the risk in terms of AML procedures.
Okay. It seems like there are no more questions in the room. Going once, going twice. Okay, fantastic. Maybe some parting comments?
Yeah, thanks Paul, thanks all the press journalist colleagues who been around this morning, have been waiting for us. I really appreciate your time. So as we have said, the clock is ticking. The offer is closing Monday 4 p.m. We're remaining with 3 days. I believe that any potential investor has now full knowledge and understanding of what the offer stands for. So I would appeal and say, make an informed decision. All the facts are there in the prospectus. There should be no confusion around the facts. They are straightforward. Make an informed decision. Until Monday 4 p.m. the offer is open, and we'll be very happy to welcome as many Ugandan individual shareholders as possible, because it will make our company better and stronger. So we're really looking forward to that moment that we close the offer and then we allocate the shares and we start listing on the 6th. Thank you.
Thanks, Wim. Now, Mr. Mohamed will give us a quick summary in Luganda.
Mumanyi nga 11 October twagulawo ne tukkiriza Bannayuganda okubawa omukisa okusobola okusaba emigabo. Kati tusigaza nnaku 4 zokka, era ku Mande nga 22 ssaawa 10 ez'olweggulo lwe lunaku olusemba n'essaawa okuwa Bannayuganda omukisa guno okusaba emigabo. naye mu kaseera kano wiiki mukaaga fenga aba MTN abakulu MTN tubadde tutambudde mu nsi yonna kuva Arua, Kisoro, Kabale yonna mu east paka ku border nga tugezaako okugamba bannayuganda okubabuulira kwegamba okubawa opportunity obagamba lwaki bagenda okuinvestinga mu kampuni yaffe MTN. Tusobodde okubeera ne town hall ezisukka mu 3. Tetukomyawo ne tuvaawo netufuna n'omukisa ogende Nairobi mirundi 2 nabo nga tubabuulira ku kitongole kyaffe engeri gye kikola n'omukisa okusobola ogula emigabo. Ne juzi ne tufuna n'omukisa era nga tukozesa webinar oba internet okukola ki okwogera n'ab'e Tanzania. Kati kyetwagala obagamba mbu kati ekirala kyetusazeewo okukyusa engeri gye tusigaza ennaku 4 zokka oba okozesa mobile money wabaddewo limit ya $5 million. Kati $5 million ezo tuzongeza kati limit eri $2 million buli lunaku. Kati musigaza ennaku 4 zokka okuva leero paka ku Monday ssaawa 10 musobola okusaba emigabo n'okuzisasulira $2 million buli lunaku. Kino tukikoza era okuba bannayuganda engeri obudde gye busigadde obutono okusobola ogula emigabo. Ekirala wetulaba okuva wetwatandika nga tuguddewo nga tukkiza bannayuganda okusaba emigabo kakati wetutunuulira wetuyita SCB account z'emigabo zidabulize zeeyongedde kugamba bannayuganda abaregisterize okusobola okusaba emigabo beeyongedde. Era abamu badde balaba mbu baba bakozesa mobile money nga baagala kufuna buli migabo 10 buli 10 gye basaba. Kati tubadde opportunity eno basobole okusasula nga bakozesa $2 million olunaku. Then ekirala social media badde yogera ebigambo bingi nga bamu balooza mbu mobile money company tegenda kuba part of company gyetugenda okulistinga. Twagala okuddamu okubakakasa bulungi mu butongole nti mobile money company nanyini mobile money company ya Uganda ye MTN Uganda gye twagala okutwala ku katale. So temulina kweraliikirira mu mobile money teriiko nayo mweri. Ekirala abantu badde bagamba waki ate MTN esazeewo kati okufudde emigabo nga twabagamba nga twakaggulawo oba okuba omukisa guno. Wetwali tuteesa ne gavumenti ku lya license batugamba nga baagala okuba bannayuganda omukisa okusobola okusaba emigabo. Nga mumanyi emyaka mingi tubadde wano mu Uganda gisukka mu 23 nga tukola amagoba mangi. Bw'oba ogaba n'amagoba ate gagenda wa amagoba gaba bagenda Bulaaya nebasalawo ne bagamba nti wakiri 20% 2 zisigala wano mu Kampala. So kati tetulina kuba na bwakwekkulizo bonna nti oba tulina MTN egenda kudduka tetulina gye tugenda. Tubadde wano myaka 23 ne sente zetugenda okuteeka mu nsi ne mu kampuni tugenda zongeza. Temwerabira mu bataxpayer fa abamu abasinga okusasula tax mu nsi. Kati godduke wange okola amagoba nga tetukola. So ekyo nakyo temulina kyeraliikirira. So fenga abakulira kampuni ya MTN twagala obazzaamu amaanyi tetulina gye tugenda. Ennaku zisigadde 4 zokka. Ekirala nga mmaliriza mbu tumanyi era nga ne mulaba services tubawazi za bulijjo okera ku makya osooka kukebera simu. So tuba twogera mbu internet opportunity n'abantu ne bakasitoma abapya be bagenda okukozesa. N'ekirala ekisemba tulina omukisa gwa mobile money nagwo ogenda okukula butuuke mu biseera kwegamba bw'obulamu bwaffe obwa bulijjo. So twagala kubagamba mbu tusigaza ennaku 4 zokka ku Monday 22 ssaawa 10 nga akatale tujja kuba tuggalawo nga tetusobola kusaba. Mwebale nnyo.
Okay, fantastic. After that Luganda session, are there any questions, any inspired questions?
My name is Jerome Posonko, and I'm working with Smart24. And I'm sorry for bringing it in an English one, but what I want to know is that we have 3 days to go. Have you achieved the target, and how have the people, or how has the public responded? Thank you.
Okay. So the offer closes on Monday at 4 p.m. So you can only answer that question when the offer is closing. What we can say today is that 60,000 Ugandans have opened their SCG account, which is more than double than what was there over the last more than 20 years since the USC started. So it gives you an indication about the volume and the interest that we've been able to generate. And for the second or the first half of your question, we will refer you to after Monday, that we'll be able to share the details of the uptake of the offer.
You talked about going to Nairobi 2 times, Tanzania via video. Yet you are saying that these shares belong to Uganda. Why are you interested in those regional markets, the regional investors also?
I thought that we were all East Africans, so there's no way we want to exclude or discriminate. Our allocation policy is Uganda first. So any Ugandan applying for shares is guaranteed 5 million at least. Then the second category is East Africans in terms of the allotment policy, and then only if there are still shares available, then the rest of the world can take up the shares. So it's not like we want to exclude or discriminate our neighbors from across the East African region. I think that would be very awkward. MTN is a Pan-African company. Believes in Pan-African values, so I think it's only fair to allow East Africans to participate. I think there are a lot of Ugandans who participated in buying Safaricom shares, so why would the Kenyan not be allowed to buy shares in MTN Uganda? I think it's only fair. So I don't think the spirit of localization goes against opening up the offer for all East Africans, giving them also bonus shares, because in the allocation policy, priority is given to Ugandans. So there's no Ugandan who will be left out because a Kenyan wants to buy shares.
There's another question there.
Thank you so much. My question is, we've had a lot of people masquerading and becoming, people who are selling these shares, and a lot of people have fallen into this trap. How is this going to be actually handled, that the right people selling these shares or the brokers are not, fraudsters?
So nobody should be buying shares from anybody walking in the street, okay? Unless they are a fully duly licensed stockbroker. There are only 6 in the whole of Uganda. The best way to apply and pay for your shares is your phone. We've made it very easy, convenient, simple. Star 165 hash 65 star 65 hash. You open your account, you apply and pay using mobile money. So you should not get fooled by anybody trying to pretend that they are a broker. To open your account and to apply and pay for your shares, you don't need anybody in between. It's just your phone. That's it. Anybody who will come and present themselves as a broker, the brokers are there. Maybe they can explain. But there are only 6. 3 of them have been formally mandated by MTN. They will clearly identify themselves, but they will not just come and move around on the street and say, here, give me $1 million shilling and here are your shares. It doesn't work like that. Use your phone. Use your phone. Maybe, Joram.
Thank you, Wim. Also, just to for some clarity for you all, is that a broker is not an individual; it's an institution, right? So, if somebody came in as a broker, as an individual, of course, definitely that is a fraudster. So, it has to be an institution. And if you look at the last page, I think on the prospectus, they've listed all the 6 brokers on that page. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, it looks like we're done for questions. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for your time. We thank you for your participation and your patience. Have a good Friday and a good weekend.
Thank you.
All right, and we are back and live from the Kampala Serena Hotel. And as a matter of fact, the Mtn IPO initial public offer, we have 4 offers. 3 days to actually get going as well. And clearly, if you look at this, and according to some of the few days, we are yet to establish whether the public responded positively to the offer by MTN, the initial public offer. But of course, by Monday, 4 p.m., 22nd of November, we shall easily tell whether the public did buy the shares or whether it's the public or MTN that are going to actually benefit from that. And of course, we've been live here in a conference where we are yet to establish this. Remember, MTN Uganda did actually float 20% of its shares. And according to the CEO, Wim Vanelputey, if you're to actually look at the situation, he says the 4% will remain with Charles Mbire, the 20% is what has been floated as well. And nevertheless, if you're to look at that still, is the matter of fact is with the 76% of the shares still ongoing as well. And with 4 days to go, we shall easily tell whether, most probably, the funds or whether the MTN subscribers had got this going. So we have 4 days to the 22nd of November. So what are you waiting for? You can easily go out there and get going with that. And at the end of the day, we shall see. We shall easily tell whether it has actually been able to come to a conclusion. And of course, I'm going to get into an exclusive a little bit because I really need to understand certain things as well as you, the viewer, before we can actually get to understand. We're live from the Kampala Serena Hotel. If you're just joining us, Smart 24 TV, where we definitely make sure that we drive your business. And what a way to say we're driving your business. And of course, it is the MTN initial public offer. And of course, this has actually been a panel having the Chief Finance Officer from MTN, who's none other than Andrew Bugembe. And of course, if you're to look at the situations here, a number of key issues have been addressed, but we are yet to see, like I said, we're yet to establish whether by 22nd November the shares have been bought by most of the Ugandans. Because the bigger question here is if we and most of them are actually buying them, what is that? Because there are a lot of questions to be asked. And on the matter of the brokers, for any of you who has actually been facing challenges with the fraudsters, you really need to understand and to get to understand what is in the prospectus. Because once you open it, you read the prospectus. And once you read the prospectus, you get to understand what is in the prospectus. You get to understand which brokers have been sidelined. We have Stanbic Bank, we have the SBG Securities. That one is actually a partner with Stanbic Bank. Remember Stanbic Bank, the reason as to why Stanbic Bank is in this, it got publicly listed in 2007, so which means it's actually into the situation, because most probably it has actually been in the game for quite some time as well. And at the end of the day, so with 1 million Ugandan shillings a day, so that means you cannot have more than 1 million, you cannot actually access more than 1 or maybe 2 million shares a day, because you're actually having
only, a new SIM card. And the reason as to why it is like that, why people actually supposed to be not exceeding 1 million, it is because of the issues to do with fraud and things like that is actually attached to the cyber crimes as well. So you can actually get to that. But with, I would say, 3 days to go. You have Saturday, Sunday, and Monday till 4 p.m. Then you'll surely keep going and get yourself those shares from MTN Uganda. It has been publicly listed. And of course, I'm Joram Paul Sonko. And till Monday, we shall definitely get to understand the bigger picture as well. Back to you in studio. Thank you.
And of course, that is our very own senior reporter and presenter, Joram Paul Song, of course, coming live from Serena Conference Center, giving us an update of what MTN is dedicating, of course, itself to serving the nation. Of course, now the deadline, if you want to buy shares with MTN, of course, the deadline will be Monday, 4 p.m. So you have today, you have Saturday, you have Sunday, and of course, come 4 p.m., of course, in the evening, that will be mad. Of course, those of you that would want to buy shares, of course, from MTN, you have just about today, tomorrow, of course, definitely, which is a Saturday, and then Sunday, and then finally Monday. And of course, we want to appreciate MTN for bringing closer the services